Hello students, let us try to understand coordination in plants student, right. So animals have a nervous system for controlling and coordinating the activities of the body, but plants have neither the nervous system nor the muscle. So how do they respond to stimuli? When we touch the leaf of the chuimui, the sensitive or the touch me not plant of the mimosa family, they begin to fold up and drop. When a seed germinates, the root goes down, the stems come up in the air. What happened? Firstly, the leaf of the sensitive plant move very quickly in response to touch. There is no growth involved in the movement in this movement. On the other hand, the directional movement of the seedling is caused by growth. If it is prevented from growing, it will not show any movement. So plants show two different types of movement, one dependent on growth and the other independent of the growth. Okay. Now the immediate response to stimuli. Let us think about the first kind of movement, such as that of the sensitive plant. Since no growth is involved, the plant must actually move its leaf in response to touch, but there is no nervous tissue nor any muscles tissue. How does the plant detect the touch and how do the leaf move in response? If we think about what exactly the plant is touched and what part of the plant actually moved, it is apparent that movement happened at a point different from the point of touch. So, information that a touch has occurred must be communicated. The plant also use electrical chemical means to convey this information from cell to cell, but unlike in animals, there is no specialized tissue in plants for the conduction of information. Finally, again in an animal, some cell must change shape in order to movement to happen. Instead of the specialized proteins found in animals' muscle cells, plant cell changed shape by changing the amount of the water in them, resulting in swelling or shrinking and therefore in changing shape. Now, movement due to growth. Movement due to growth. Some plant like the pea plant, okay, some plant like the pea plant climb up climb up other plant or fence by means of tendrils. These tendrils are sensitive to touch. When they come in contact with any support, the part of the tendril in contact with the object does not grow and rapidly as the part of the tendrils away from the object. This causes the tendrils to circle around the object and thus cling to it. More commonly, plants respond to the stimuli slowly by growing in a particular direction. Because this growth is directional, it appears as if the plant is moving. Let us understand this type of movement with the help of examples. Environmental triggers such as light or gravity will change the direction that plant part grow in the direction, or the tropic movement can be either towards the stimulus or away from it. So in the different kind of the phototropic movement, shoot respond by bending towards the light while root respond by bending away from it. How does this help the plant? Plants show the tropism in response to other stimuli as well. The root of the plant away grow downward while the shoot usually grow upward and away from the earth. This upward movement of upward and downward growth of shoots and roots respectively in response to the pull of the earth or the gravity is obviously geotropism. If hydro means water and chemo refers to chemical, what would hydrotropism and chemotropism means? Can we think of example of these kind of the directional growth movement? One example of chemotropism is the growth of the pollen tube towards the ovules about which we will learn more when we examine the reproductive process of living organism. Let us now once again think about how information is communicated in the bodies of multicellular organism. The movement of the sensitive plant in response to touch is very quick. The movement of sunflower in response to day or night, on the other hand, is quite slow. Growth related movement of the plant will be even slower. Even in animal body there are the carefully controlled detection to the growth. Our arms and finger grow in certain direction, not haphazardly, so control movement can be either slow or fast. A fast response to stimuli are to be made. Information transfer must happen very quickly. For example, the medium of transmission must be able to move rapidly. Electrical impulse are an excellent means for this, but there are limitations to the use of electrical impulse. Firstly, then will reach only those cells that are connected by nervous tissue, not each and every cells in the animal body. Secondly, once an electrical impulse is generated in a cell and transmitted, the cell will take some time to rest in its mechanism before it can generate and transmit a new impulse. In other words, cells cannot continuously create and transmit electrical impulse. It is thus no wonder that most multicellular organisms use another means of communication between cells, namely chemical communication. If instead of the generating an electrical impulse, a stimulated cell release and chemical compound, this compound would diffuse all around the original cell. If other cells around have the same means to detect this compound using special molecules on their surface, then they would be able to recognize information and even transmit it. This will be slower, of course, but it can potentially reach all cells of the body regardless of nervous connection, and it can be done steadily and persistently. This compound or hormones used by multicellular organism for control and coordination show a great deal of diversity, as we would expect. Different plant hormone help to coordinate growth, development and respond to the environment. They are synthesized as plant away from where they act and simply diffuse to the area of action. Let us take an example that we have worked with the earlier 7.2 activity. When growing plant detect light, a hormone called the auxin synthesized at the shoot tip helps the cell to grow longer. When light is coming from one side of the plant, oxygen diffuses toward the shady side of the shoot. This concentration of the oxygen stimulates the cell to grow longer on the side of the shoot which is away from the light. Thus, the plant appears behind, bent towards the light. Another example of the plant hormone are the gibberellin, which like auxin, help in the growth of the stem. Cytokinin promotes cell division, and it is natural then that they are present in the greater concentration in areas of rapid cell division, such as the fruits and seed. These are example of the plant hormone that help in the promoting growth, but plants also need signal to stop growing. Absence acid in the example of the hormone which inhibit with growth. It effect include willing, wilting of leaf. Hormones in plants we will read in the another video, student. Thank you very much.